Do you feel like companies are making a little bit of a concession on cost in order to make decisions that are, for more sustainable options?
Absolutely. And there's a few studies out there that have kind of indicated that consumers are willing to pay between 15 and 25 to 30% more for a product if they know that it's a more sustainable packaging solution. And so I think when we're consulting with brands, we're saying, okay, how can we kind of spend a little bit more on the packaging to make it more sustainable if we need to go that route? Like using PCR right now is more expensive, post-consumer recycled plastic resin. And so if we do that, can they increase the price to their customers to be able to make up the difference?
Yeah, yeah. And so what about on the supply side? You work with probably packaging manufacturers from all over the world. How have you seen the evolution of that side of the industry?
Yeah, so I mean, we like to take a really global look at the entire value chain. So everything starts with the customer and kind of makes its way back. So customers right now in the clean beauty space are certainly asking for more sustainable packaging. In that way, brands are trying to respond to it, and thus the packaging industry is also responding. So what we've seen in the last few years is minimum order quantities, or MOQs, are dropping very quickly for more sustainable solutions. Again, like PCR. If you were to take a PCR mist sprayer or like a dispenser, in order to kind of create a PCR outer for that packaging, we would have had to use like 250, 300,000, or make 250 to 300,000 units in the first order. That MOQ's dropped all the way down to like 25,000 to 50,000, depending on the manufacturer. And I see that continuing to go, that it'll be easier and easier for manufacturers to be able to make more sustainable packaging solutions for indie beauty brands that are looking to make those decisions. I also think that in the space, there is more room for crowdsourcing opportunities. So multiple brands that are kind of using an item that maybe has a really high an MOQ, like a black treatment pump. Well, if everyone can agree, say, hey, I need 10,000 of these, I need 20,000 of those, and we can get 10 of those together, then we can all go in, take advantage of that buying power and do something like that. And I've learned about a few platforms. One is called Novi, Novi, that is kind of trying to organize that and putting together. And I like what they're doing so far. Yeah, this is probably like the best question to ask and the hardest one to answer in a format like this, because every brand is going to have different constraints that are going to limit what to kind of go into. But and so what I would encourage everyone to do is, if you want to become more sustainable, talk to someone that is in a similar space that I'm kind of in, that packaging distributor role that's really focused in on developing the best solutions for their individual situation and doesn't have any direct kind of manufacturer relationships or connections that are kind of skewing their advice toward one direction. Because if you ask an aluminum guy this question, they're going to be like, go aluminum. And if you ask a glass person, they're going to go glass. And so having that kind of unbiased advice for your specific situation is obviously best. From a general standpoint, I would say that focusing in on reducing the amount of plastic waste being produced in the beauty packaging is probably the best goal. And so that would mean using, more glass, more aluminum, more paperboard and fiber. Those types of materials and substrates, when they end up in the landfill or in an ocean, are going to cause less damage than if they're plastic. And again, if you have to go into plastic, use as much PCR as possible. So that's the really simple version to that question.